Hey folks, we are here today to work on the Slash slipper clutch. So I have my Slash 4x4 Ultimate and my Slash 4x4 VXL. Just have a little, which one is this? This is the Hot Racing dust cover, just to help keep the grass and gravel out of there. And I have a Dusty Motors one that I also use on this one. Max Custom Design has the shock tower covers. Just makes it look a little bit better. Did the gray to match the gray and the black to match the, I guess I should do black, but to match the gray on that, I just liked it better with these wheels and tires. So gonna do an upgrade on the Ultimate slipper clutch. And the big difference I'm gonna do is use the E-Revo upgrade. So taking part 5351, which is the slipper pressure plate and hub, and then 5352R, which is the rebuild kit heavy duty, and take that and put it together. The biggest thing is the 4 screws here. Probably can't see that well for the camera, but got one there, and then flip it over, and then it's that one, and then that whole rear assembly will slide off, and we'll be able to get right to the slipper clutch. Grab my handy dandy MIP drivers and just pull that apart. The one I have in here actually is the VXL's slipper. I wanted to do some runs with this. Did a recent video with the Florida Highway Patrol body on this truck. And I also, this is usually my Tennessee Highway Patrol truck, but I wanted to go ahead and do the Florida one, but Florida's truck was apart, so I just went ahead and borrowed pieces. Kind of the nice part of having multiple of the same chassis. This truck is 100% stock, except for a ton of electronics upgrades as far as the ESS dual you see up there, has the engine and the siren, and then a bunch of wires for all the strobe lights that I like to overdo it, and then the Proline raised body mounts. So we got those two out. Get these two guys out. Not my normal setup because I don't have the tripod usually in my way when I'm doing these quick repairs. And once those 4 are out, it just shimmies out like that. And stick that back there. There is the slipper. It really just slides right out. And that one goes into that chassis. So I know it's all good. I will take it. It's got the carrier bearing on it. Make sure it goes in there. This one's a little trickier because this has the covered drive shaft, but just maneuver it around a little bit. Make sure that it gets both into the center axle and onto the pinion. On this one, I store my screws in place if it's going to be a day or two before I can get back to a job. And then just pull those 2 out. I will stick those here instead of on my Cow RC magnetic mat. Excuse me. And I need to pull these 2 out again, store them in place whenever I'm more than a day out from getting this. And these parts were on order for, I think I've ordered them on a Thursday or Friday, and they arrived.
Alright, so we need to make sure I line up that with this to make it a little easier. That needs to be more of a straight cross, horizontal, about there. We got kind of horizontal, we got that one kind of horizontal, and then it just slides back in. Stick that in, do a quick test. Alright, we're good to go. And so I will
take these 4, and this is the VXL 4x4, which has the HCG chassis, versus the Ultimate, which has the LCG. So you see the big difference is just the bump out on how high that goes. So that creates more versus the LCG on the Ultimate. I like them both for different reasons, which is why I have both. So I don't have my power tools set up, otherwise I'd definitely be doing that to speed up the process. But that's what I use to hold down the extra battery in case I'm using Traxxas batteries in here, which don't have a balance lead. It gives me something to power the fans if I'm doing some little bashing. The other thing that I've done to most of my slashes is to put the rally bumper on the back. Just kind of cleans up the look, and then did the rally on the front. This is one of the older ones. It has a very wide opening, so it doesn't have a lot of great ground clearance, but it looks like a really cool air splitter versus the higher ground clearance that I've switched over to on my Ultimate. All right, let's get that chassis out of the way and get back over to the slipper maintenance. All right, get some of the debris out of the way. So what we are gonna do here is open these guys up. It's fairly straightforward on the repair, 5351. Get all those, slide right in my nice RC bucket. Put that there just so I remember what that is. Or at least so when I'm editing the video, I'll remember what I call it. Knife needs to be sharpened. That's all right. Put that one over there. All right. Give the instructions a quick once over if I remember correctly. It's great. If I don't, it's bad. So for the electrical vehicles, which is what I am using, we'll go on this side. And silence the alarm. And so the rounded side of these slipper clutch pads goes towards that, goes onto these little dot anchors. So we will do that and take this one back apart. And I don't think I have my other tools available. Again, this was just kind of a last minute, if I'm going to do it, why not throw it on the camera? I don't normally do maintenance videos, primarily because my office is always hot. So I've always got this portable air conditioner on and fans, which is not conducive for great audio quality. So that's where that is. Just take them off in the order. I need to flip that around. That was backwards. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna replace the small slash pressure plate mount with the E-Revo one, and it fits. So we've got our 2mm here. We can just get those out. I really do like my Reefs RC work mat, as well as my Cow RC screw catcher. They both really do work well. The Reefs helps me keep things from sliding around, and the Cow RC, which I can't know if you see, but I have another bigger one over here, really do help keep things from just skittering away. All right, so we'll pull that. We won't pull that off. We'll pull this off, and that will no longer be needed. While I'm here, let me check my bearing, make sure it's freely flowing. Just took a diff fluid applicator that I haven't used, which then I can just roll around the bearing to kind of feel how it's doing, and it's doing well, so I'm not going to worry about that. Slide this back on, and then grab this mount here. It'll go in there. Grab some of my blue Loctite and a paper towel. I just like to clean the heads of these as I put them. Clean the threads of these while I put them back in, just to get any debris off so they're not backing out. Here's one. And two. And three. All right, so now it's ready for some my blue Loctite. Stick that right there. Just that will do. All right. And I'll get my handy dandy. I think this is a straw cleaner from one of my kids' old bottles or sippy cups or something, but it works good to just make sure I don't have any debris between these teeth. The other thing works good is a toothbrush. You can always grab toothbrush, same thing, just where they want to, if I'm in here, just go ahead and tidy it up. All right, so we got old parts and new parts. Of course I did, but that's okay. You already noticed. All right, it's not Monday though, so we will try this again. All right, so we got all those on there. Life is good. Take off the old plate and we can push that pin out. Get this off and get this pressure plate and hub back on here. That pin back in. Get it locked in place. That's good. And once we have that back in place, we can put this in here. I'm gonna get all these, and that's rounded side towards the connectors, which means the flat side towards the plate. It's been 9 minutes, so my alarm reminder is going off, which means this will make the editing room floor. And once that's on like so, I will get these seated properly. Rounded side towards that there. Easiest is just to go down this way and hold some pressure on it. There we go. All right, so we've got all three seated nicely, and we've got our bearing in. Then we can put that piece back on. That was old, and then we can go with new, maybe. It's not feeling it. Okay. Let's go with that and go with that one. And then just need to tighten it up. Can't think this one's hollow. Yeah, there we go. that, in order to do that, I need to hold this tightly in place. I typically tighten it all the way down. I'll back it off a half to a quarter. All right, so all the way, and then that's about a half. And then I'll install it back in the vehicle, and we'll go from there. Seeing how it is, again, it's a very straightforward installation. Once I slide this in, make sure I have my bearing, goes over that collar, and then it slides right into that channel. And as I slide it in there, I line up the shaft after I put back on the put this back in. And Turkey's outside distracting me, just like everything else. All right, clean that off a little bit. Just a dab of Loctite. Get it back started. Don't want that backing out while I'm running. And get it on the flat side. And then just crank it down. All right. There's that. That goes right out of the way. All right, let's try this again. Once we do that, get it back in here. It slides through. Just need to fish it in and align those to the shaft. And same thing, just get this flap components lined up. Just use the front wheel to help me do that. All right, so that is flat, that is rain, and we should be able to just line. There it is. And get the 4 bolts back in on the bottom and the top, and we are ready to roll. And then we'll be able to test it out again later tonight, maybe tomorrow, once that all has a chance to dry. All the HCG stuff, we have the Ultimate with the LCG stuff. Got one here and one there. And that's it. That's a upgrade of the slipper clutch for the Slash, 4x4 or Ultimate VXL, which putting an additional a heftier pressure plate in here, and it should help with providing a lot more traction. You know, there has to be a weakest link in your system, so I definitely on this one with the upgraded E-Revo style slipper clutch, do not over tighten it, otherwise I'll just start twisting drive shafts and breaking other things. But I do like the option of just having beefier components in there, and that's it. Hope it was helpful. Again, 5351 for the slipper pressure plate and hub, and then 5352R is the rebuild heavy duty. I had just chunked a couple of the materials that were part of this slipper clutch assembly, and so I just went ahead and just replaced it all and then tossed the rest. Hope you have a great day. Get out there, do some RCing, break stuff, fix it, repeat, make somebody smile.